Good morning, everybody. My name is Grace, and it feels so good to be here. It feels so good to be here to talk about a topic that I'm passionate about and also to share my experience. I just want to really thank the organizers of this event for giving me the opportunity and also lending their hearts and hands out to really create an impact in the life of young people and everyone in the world. It's really a beautiful event, and I'm happy to be here. So today I have been assigned to speak on the topic social impact careers and making a difference through your work. For me, I would say, as a young person, one of the easiest way as a young person aspiring to do something great, go on the global stage, be known or create a difference. One of the fastest way to elevate a career is the social impact part, because the world is actually interested in social impact. I know that other careers are also beautiful, but social impact gives you the opportunity to do things aside just the money you get, but do things based on the impact that you're going to create and how much you're going to touch the lives of others. And that's why it seems like the world is really much interested in people that come out to not just make money or get the fame, but actually do something for others. So just for people that may not know what social impact careers is, there are jobs that solve societal problems. Like there's currently a problem of climate change, there's problem of poverty, there's problem of food and hunger, and there are a lot of social problems. And then people in the social impact careers are passionate people that come out and say, okay, this is the part that I want to do. I want to do good for the society. Climate change is disturbing. I want to do a research to see how I can create a change or profile solution. And sometimes NGOs, non-governmental organizations, sometimes even businesses can have a social impact career path whereby you can have like a company where you do your normal business, but then in that company you have a charity part where you want to still reach out to communities, solve a problem. So social impact careers, mostly they contribute to solving societal problems. So this is like just a basic definition of what it is, just to give us an understanding of what it means to be in the social impact space. You're more like creating impact in the society by solving societal problems. I'll give an example. There's environmental problems, there's problem of gender inequality, there's a problem of food, hunger, poverty. And then these are people that come out and say, these are the parts of the society that I really want to see how I can use my skills, use my passion to actually create a change. And just like I said before, for me and from my experiences, I know that this career path is one of the places where it doesn't just bring you fulfillment. It takes you to places where you'll be shocked. I remember when I've always been a passionate person about social impact. So I was just doing my job as an accountant. I was doing transcribing too along this side, but I had the heart for community. I was volunteering at that time, but I wasn't really doing it full time because I had my work. But I knew that social impact is what I want to do with my life, because I knew that I really wanted to serve communities. And so one day I just stayed in the office and I felt like I resigned. And it wasn't a beautiful decision, I must tell you, because when I resigned, I started volunteering. So I volunteered for like 2 years. And before then, I had in mind to study abroad because I always wanted to study abroad. I didn't want to study again in Nigeria. And then I had already been watching videos of people that have gotten scholarships and people that have really done things for themselves. And then one struck me when she said she just finished school and said she didn't know what to do, but then she started community work, and that was where her life turned. And then I was like, I already like social impact. So what do? I resigned and I started full-time volunteering. I remember it was really hard. Everybody was like, what's this girl doing? You don't want to go to work, you're just serving. But I knew what I was doing. One of the things that helps us in life is know what you want to do and know what you are doing, know where it's taking you to. I knew what I was doing. I knew that I needed to go somewhere in my life, and this is the path I want to choose. And I started volunteering. I was volunteering with different organizations. It was not just about gender, it was about food, it was about hunger, anything. I was like a serial volunteer in Port Harcourt. And then I knew that when scholarship started, I was applying, I was having rejections, but I now learned that this is my work. So I had like a Google Drive of what all the works I was doing. I named them in folders. So I was writing, I had links. I was putting the links of my work, of my volunteer work. And then I got the scholarship. Imagine doing something as simple as just giving back and you get appreciated for it, but then it takes you to places where you'll be shocked. Imagine leaving your country and traveling to the UK, all expense paid. Like your parents are not bothered that you even come to the country and you're living okay. You're not stressing yourself about how I didn't even know how my school fees was paid, but I knew that my school fees was paid. Then you're getting paid just because you had evidence of social impact. This is just like a brief story of one part of my life that I can share that social impact have really, 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 really played a part. There are other parts of my life that I can't, like, if I start sharing, it's going to take time. But this is just like one part of my life that I can share that social impact is a beautiful part. And I'm always happy to really, really encourage people to choose that path and really, really make a difference in their work. So it's not about the benefits, not like when you want to do it. Start with the heart to serve your community, start with the heart to give back, start with the heart to actually serve. Then you will see it, you will see that your life would actually align to everything that you want to have. So I just wanted to say I just want to talk about why one should choose social impact career, because sometimes somebody will say, well, okay, why would I want to volunteer? First of all, like I said, it gives you personal fulfillment where you know that you're doing something for others. You're doing something. If you're a Christian, you know that you're spreading love, and then you're making a difference. I remember when we would go out and give food, and then you see people really, really happy to say, thank you for coming to give us food. We weren't paid, but it meant a lot for someone to say, God bless you. Thank you for coming, taking this far, taking the risks, entering boats to come to this community to share this for us. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking care of these children. It means a lot. It gives you this fulfillment. You go back home, you're not being paid, but then you're happy that you've done something for others, and then you're making a difference. And another reason why you choose social impact is there's a demand for young people to use their voice to create a difference globally, even in the UN, even in global organizations. There is that demand for young people to actually. That's why I'm saying it's one of the spaces where if you're a young person and you really want to really take up the global stage, there's a demand for high talent of young people that can find problems in the society and provide solutions. Even in the UN globally, they really, really want to include the voice of youth. And then that's like your opportunity to really, really raise your voice, pick a cause that you're really passionate about, and really, really do something about it. And one of the things about social impact careers is there are a lot of places where you can fit in. So you might be interested in gender, you might be interested in climate, you might be interested in food, you might be interested in engineering. The SDG goals is 17, but then if you look at it holistically, you will see that as a person, you have that skill that you can fit in. And the UN is all about the Sustainable Development Goals. That's what they're striving to achieve. If you look at the 17, you will see one that aligns with you. And there's always a problem in that SDG goals that you can solve. Identify which problem aligns with your personal values or what you like. It could be food. You can be interested in food and nutrition. You can be interested in engineering. You can be interested in water. Anything that you feel like, oh, this is something that resonates. Like me, then it was about period poverty because of my experience, and that was what I was interested in. And then I'm also interested in girls' education. So that's where I picked the SDG goal 5, because this is where I know that it aligns with my personal value. I really want women to be great. I really want young girls to have their voice, and I really, really want period poverty to end. And so I picked it, and it aligns with my value. and I'm interested in it. It's beautiful when you're volunteering or you're doing social impact, you're doing it with interest, because sometimes you're not being paid for this thing. And what makes you go back is the interest you have for it. So there are lots of NGOs, lots of opportunities, lots of places in the impact space where you can just pick the one that you find interesting. And you can just start doing it even without expecting the benefit. But then I feel like I used to tell my friends that it is your place of purpose that God will bless you. So when you are doing something, it's not like you're expecting the benefit, but then you have to align yourself in the place where is that place. Like people used to say, now where you work, you go chop. But it's not like you're expecting people to pay you, but have the mindset that this thing I'm doing, what's the purpose of it? Because when the purpose of a thing is not known, like my Moro will say, abuse is inevitable. Understand it, know what you want to do. And when you are doing it, try to see how that thing will take you to your next phase. You can talk about it in a way that you would be shocked that it takes you. Don't just do it cash, do it with love, but then hold on to those experiences, hold on to everything you're learning, package it in a way that when that opportunity comes, you can align it. Don't just do it and say, oh, people are doing social impact. No, this is your career, you're making a difference, but then at some point, you have to benefit from what you're using your time to do. So start with it, then do it. Package, like I said, when I got my scholarship, I had when I go for volunteering, I take pictures a lot. And those were my evidence. Commonwealth scholarship, you can be applying and then they just need 2 people. And I didn't even make a first class. When I started the application, somebody told me that you must have a first class and all that. And then you don't have a first class, you don't have experience. So imagine competing with people that have first class, people that have been bagging awards before, even like when they were born, they started having awards. And then you were coming with a 2-1. 2-1 is not bad, but then these people already have their bragging rights with the awards they've been winning. And then I was doing the work. When I go out for volunteering, I take pictures and I come back and I put it on my Google Drive. I had these folders for each volunteering experience. I had a folder for it. So when I come, as I finish, I put it on my phone and I upload it. And then I left it there. So when the application comes, for everything I'm saying I'm doing, I had a Google link. So whoever was looking at my essay could click the link and see my works. And that was how I was able to secure it. And it has been a beautiful experience for me. I'll just stop the story there and then maybe I'll continue if there is a need for it. So when it comes to social impact, like I said before, understand the job market of social impact. Understand when it comes to social media, like I said, it's United Nations, they are global, they are more global than even local. Understand what is the problem that's happening in the world and align it to your interests. A lot of problems is happening globally in the world. And as a person, there's one that fits what you are interested in. Align it very well. Find that problem and think about how you want to solve it. First of all, find the NGO that you feel like, okay, if you are interested in climate, there are a lot of NGOs that do climate advocacies and all that. Volunteer with that. If you're interested in gender equality, there are lots of NGOs that do that. Find the social impact space that aligns with your interests and start volunteering there. Pick public policy advocacy. There are a lot of opportunities outside. Find it, and then there's opportunity decks. There are a lot of other links that you can find those opportunities. When you find it, give it a shot. It's not easy. Don't make excuses. I remember when I was applying, I didn't have a laptop. I was just having a phone, and trust me, the phone had a bad screen. But I used a phone to get a scholarship. So that's why when people say, find the opportunity and don't make excuses, find a way to make it work. I didn't have anybody to give me a laptop. I understood the job market. I knew that I know what I wanted. I knew that I had this skill, but I didn't have all the tools to make it work. I knew that they were not interested in whether I have a laptop or not. What they want to see is if I can write what they can understand. And so I had a flash that had this space for USB, and I was carrying flash everywhere. If I see a laptop, I'll just plug it and start typing, and then I'd put it out, and then I put it on my phone. I used the phone to apply for my admission in the University of Warwick. I used the phone to get it. So when you understand the market space, you know that you now align your own limitations and align the possibilities. Globally, nobody cares if you know anybody or not. What they want to know, do you know what you are doing? Have you done? Have you done the work? Like the previous speaker was saying, do you have evidence of your work? Then you can always give it a shot. And that's the beautiful thing about the social impact career space. It's all about what you can do and how you can show yourself and present yourself. You don't need to know anybody in this space, because it's a space where people actually do things for free and all that. It's not like there's a gain in front. No, the gain comes after you start putting your heart to it and start working. So that's why you don't really need to know anybody. No, normally in the country where I come from, Nigeria, people have things where you have to just go and get it, so they bring all their people. But this social impact part, the gain is not in front. The gain can be in the middle or behind. So you don't need to know anybody. Just enter the space, know what you want, know what you're doing, and do it. And when you're searching for these jobs and these opportunities, this scholarship, tailor your like, just like the previous speaker said, she's more experienced. She said, tailor your work, your application to the work that you're doing and your experiences. Network with people online when you're looking for these opportunities. Network with people online. Go online, send people message on LinkedIn. I've had a lot of people come to me to review their essay that I don't even know. And you will always find out kind person that wants to look at it for you. I have a friend that I had to meet, and now we're now very good friends. It was because of scholarship that we networked. And this was a friend that I met met a friend, but now we're now very good friends. What I did, I connect with people, go on LinkedIn, be on this space, follow people, send them DMs. Sometimes they will not respond. Sometimes at least you find someone that will respond, because sometimes you're not able to do these things yourself. Even when you're applying for your jobs, whatever space that you're interested in, find the people there. Find the people in that space. Connect with them. Tell them to teach. Be ready to learn. And when you go, don't give excuses. Don't go and say, oh, I don't have a laptop, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. Sometimes these people don't like explain because they don't have time. They are busy people. They want somebody that knows what they are doing. It's easier for me to carry somebody that knows what the person is doing than for me to be dragging somebody. When you go to their DM, be prepared. Let them see that your heart for you to want to grow. Show them. If they say, give me your CV by 5 o'clock, by 4 o'clock, let it be ready. When you do all these things, you're fine. Go to the NGO site. Tell them, I want to volunteer. Even if they say, oh, I don't have time, tell them, okay, I can do online. Find a place to serve everywhere you go. That's beautiful. That find where to serve. There's always a gain for service. That's the beautiful thing about social impact. Find a place to serve. Serve. Just serve. Not with the heart of gaining, but when you're serving, you to know that you will have to gain in the place of your purpose, but you're not putting it at first. You had the heart to serve, yes, but then you have to, where you work, that's where you have to find a way to ensure that whatever you're putting in your time would yield something for you, definitely. So you don't just go. And I have people that have actually volunteered for more than 20 years, even before I came into the social impact space. And my own place and their own place is different. And that's because I know how to bring my work together and make it push me to the next phase. Them, they are just doing it. And then sometimes I tell them that if I have the experience you have, I would have been gone, like I would have gone more than where I am, because I know what I want to do, and I always align my experience. So don't just do things. When you're doing things, know how those things, try to align them with your life. Like I said, network, go online, arrange your CV well, try to talk about your work, the things you have done. Let them see your impact. Let them be able to measure your impact. When you're doing your CV, your application, find opportunities, find NGOs to volunteer, and know what you're interested in, and align your works to it. So it must not be because somebody is doing gender, you do gender. The space is big enough for everybody. Find what you're interested in and then do it. And I just wanted to talk about creating a long-term impact with social impact careers. Like I said, there's a problem, and young people and everyone, we are the ones to solve it. Find fresh ideas. When you see a problem, when you're in a place, listen. Want to lead. I know that sometimes we say we are introvert, but the world now, I don't think that thing. You can be an introvert normally, but put yourself out. something is happening and then they are saying, okay, they need this person to solve the problem. Try to see how you can solve the problem. Even if you can solve the problem, you know people in that team that you can put head together to make it work. Try as much as you can to say, okay, I'll lead the team, but then I feel like, oh, you can shake your hands, bring that your hand that you can shake. Oh, you can shake your leg, bring that your hand leg. And then we'll put it together and you see that it comes in together. They might not be the one doing the work. But you are using their ideas to put it together, and then you are leading and you're solving a problem. And then when it comes out, you are writing it, you're saying, oh, you led. Imagine you that you're not even the one that have all the skills, but you're saying you led these brilliant people. What they want to see globally is the fact that you led it, and you actually did, because they had these ideas and they are not bold enough to come out to say they have it, and you have seen it before them, and you're saying, okay, bring it, and then you put it together and you see that you do something really beautiful. And then when you're putting it in your work, you're saying you led these brilliant people to do it, and it takes you to somewhere that you'll be shocked. Mentor people. Another way to create long-term impact, apart from leadership, mentor people, give people opportunity and the space to grow. Like I said, a lot of people have come to my DM that I don't know, and I always learn out, because I can't just have growth and not want people to grow. And when you mentor people, you know where you're coming from. I had people that helped me when I was coming from. Try as much as possible to be kind when you want to create long-term impact in the social impact space. Be kind enough to want to lend a heart to young people and people that you feel like are interested. I'm not saying waste your time, because some people are time wasters. They're not serious. They just see you shining and they just feel like, oh, you just got up one day and you're in this space. No. There are actually people that you feel like, young people that you feel like are really, really passionate, and they really, really need somebody to mentor them. You can create a long-term impact by mentoring them. Another way to create long-term impact is advocate for the things you like. Like me being in the gender space and working and coming, it just started with me always starting from my status on WhatsApp to always talk about gender inequality and talk about the girl child and talk around about period poverty, around about how pads are bad. That was how it started. And before people started, somebody now called me to say, oh, I want to do a part of the girl project. Can you organize it for me? And I did it. Aside from my volunteering, that was my period poverty was my main passion, and that was my first project. The person actually funded it, but start by advocating for what you like. People are seeing it, they are watching it, they are seeing that this is your interest, and something good might come out, and then you see that you've created impact. And then I was now doing projects for young girls, going out, and I went as far as learning how to make reusable pads. So first, start with innovating and being a leader to create a long-term impact in the space. Advocate, mentor people. That's it. Through your consistency, collaboration, you will see how far you will go. It's a very beautiful space. And then when my sister Ijawele asked me to, I'm like, oh, I really like to talk about this thing. Because it's a very beautiful space, and it's a space that people just overlook because it doesn't bring the money first, and it doesn't really show the cash first. But if you're consistent in this space and you have the heart to create the impact, you will be shocked at where you will really, really go. You'll be shocked at where it will take you to. You'll be shocked, because I didn't even see myself, like, sometimes I just tease my friend. I'm like, if maybe they say, okay, my father should pay my school fees abroad, obviously we can't afford it. But imagine the joy in his heart that I was going to a Russell Group school of over 30,000 pounds and not even a dime. And aside that, I went to the visa, I just went to visa place and said I was a Commonwealth scholar. And then my visa was just free like that. And I used a direct flight to the UK. I came into the UK. And sometimes when people are being stressed, I'm just there. Whether I work and I don't work, I still have my money being paid to me all through my studies. I was studying. I can choose if I want to work. If I don't want to work, I'll just chill. I still get paid. And I had all the gadgets that a student needs. This is like what just doing volunteering brought to me, just having the heart to serve and creating impact. This is what I like. I still got a job. It's just a beautiful space. And I feel like if you really, really, really have a heart to serve, it's a place, and you want to really enjoy the global space, it's a place to start with. And I just wanted to talk about the work-life balance in the social impact space. Trust me, it's sounding really beautiful that I'm saying it now. It's sounding fancy, but it's not easy. And you have to know how to integrate work-life balance in it. That's like why I want to talk about work. Don't burn out yourself. When you need to rest, rest. When it's challenging, especially when you know you're not going to get paid. Imagine, I remember when we used to go and do food packaging when I was volunteering in one NGO where we used to give food. Sometimes we go in the morning and we'll come back in the evening. We pack food. Imagine us doing rice base, gari, oil, and all that. And I come back really tired. And sometimes I might go today and I might not go the next day because I need to rest and refresh. So, you know, while you're doing it, don't just do it and you see yourself going, no. You see yourself, no. When you need to rest, rest. When you need to take a break, take a break. And when you need to, when you feel like you need to eat, eat. Prioritize your well-being because you need to be alive to see the beauty of all the things you've put your impact in and all the things you put your work in. So rest when you can. It's draining. Sometimes you have to travel. Like you have to travel to communities that you don't know. You put yourself at risk sometimes because you're in this community and sometimes entitlement comes in and they become violent because you're giving food. Everybody wants to have food and then we don't have enough. And put yourself first, prioritize your well-being, do a safety plan, look at where you're volunteering, look at the communities because in social media impact careers, you're dealing with communities. You're dealing with communities and communities are usually and most times entitled people and they are violent people. When you're going, don't just say, oh, I'm a volunteer, I want to save life, oh, I want to create an impact. No. Prioritize yourself most times. Do a safety plan, observe your environment, take instructions, rest when you can, take instructions. If they are saying the community is becoming violent, everybody enter the bus. Don't say, oh, this woman doesn't have food, I want to give the woman food. No. Prioritize your safety is important at that time. Move into the bus and sit down. You've done your work, you've done the best. God has seen it, the society has seen it. Don't say, oh, you want to change the world and because of that you just put yourself out there and put your life at risk. Oh, because you want to change the world, you're seeing that you're tired for that day and you just still go. If you go there and slop, that's the end. So always in this space and in generally your workspace, try to see how you can prioritize your self well-being. Don't overwork yourself. It's really not worth it at some point where you lose your life. If anything happens to you, there'll still be other young people that will still raise their voice and solve the problem. Always have that in mind. So I don't know, my talk is quite short. I think I'm at the end. So I just wanted to do a little call to action. Start your journey today. You know what you want to do. You already know the path you want to choose in life, and what you want to do. Like I said, I didn't have all the means that I needed. I didn't have everything that I wanted to chase my dreams, but I just started anyways. And it worked. It worked for me. I started with a phone that just had a bad screen and the charging port was even bad. I didn't have a laptop. So there's actually no excuse when you want to really do what you want to do. This is not about social impact, it's about your life generally. Start. Whatever you want to do, just start it anyway. People will support you. I remember when friends were just sending me money to buy a card because I needed to submit my applications. Just start. Somehow people will then find the course that you're passionate about. I've said this so many times. Find the course that you're passionate about. When you see it, champion it, own it. I know that a lot of when I started advocating for gender equality, I had a lot of people saying a lot of things. I didn't really care because I knew what I wanted. I knew where I was going to. Just own whatever cause that you want to champion and champion it well. Whatever cause you care about, volunteer for it. Explore opportunities. Network with people that are like you. It's very important. You could learn a lot. Ask questions. I'm not saying that go if people are having a meeting, you bump it, no. But sometimes people are discussing. I have seen that this is people can just be in a small space. They're discussing things that will take you far. Don't just say, "Oh, it's not my business." Maybe you hear they say, "Oh, they're sharing this link. Oh, this link. Oh, this link is for job. Oh, this link for application." Ask them. Say, "Sorry, oh, I just heard that people are signing for. I'm looking for a job." Don't just say, "Oh, it's not my business. They're not talking to you." In this world that we are now, you have to network. You have to ask questions. You don't have to just sit down and just let things pass. Tell them, oh, give me the link. Share the link to let me see if I can apply. Network. If you was there, I remember when I was volunteering, we started linking other ourselves to other organizations. So that was how I had more organizations to volunteer with, because as volunteers there, we discuss, and then someone say, oh, I'm also a volunteer in this NGO, this is what they do, it's quite nice. And then you say, okay, can they add me into the group? And they add you. And also how, for some reasons, connection, I had so many NGOs I was volunteering for at that time, and it paid off. So when you find a course that you like, once you started the journey, connect with like minds, ask questions. You're an introvert, but then it doesn't stop you from asking questions that will lead you to your next phase, because you don't want to really, really just stop small. So ask questions. Your career can actually be more than a job. That's the beautiful thing about social impact. So when you're doing social impact careers, just know that, like, I work with women and children that have been through domestic violence. It's more than a job for me. Yes, I'm getting paid at this point now, but then it's more than a job for me. It goes beyond just me being paid. I'm actually getting satisfaction sometimes when I see the work that I've done, and I'm like, oh God, I'm happy that I'm here. So it's more than just a job for me. It's something that I'm living for. So that's the beauty about social impact career. You're doing a job at some point when you get more experience, and then you start getting paid. When it's now a full-time job, you're working, and then you're fulfilling purpose at the side. You're getting paid because you need to pay your bills, but then you're touching lives. Then you imagine how many lives you've touched before you leave the world, and you did not just touch life. You actually you are living good, comfortably, and then you're fulfilling purpose. And people can say, "Oh, I met this person, and then this person touched my life." I think I've come to the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grace. Thank you so much for that, the insightful session and inspiring story. Because I learned a lot from when you were speaking, especially coming from the angle of someone. Yes, I'm a lawyer, and I'm also particular or interested in the whole how do I put it, injustice. I don't know if you heard the recent story about a lawyer, a human rights lawyer that wrote a book about corruption in Nigeria. And I think he wrote something about the famous Afe Babalola, and they came to arrest him. And up till now, he was not granted bail. I think
Yeah.
for close to years. These are also issues. So I'm talking to other people, just in case you can also delve into the injustice area. That is also a social development goal that some people can
Yeah.
actually look into. And you don't necessarily need to be a lawyer for you to actually have the passion for that field. And it's something that you can work on. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for that. Now, to the interesting part, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, now, yes. So, I know before you got your Commonwealth scholarship, I know that there are several challenges, rejections that you faced when you were making these applications. Aside from realizing that you needed evidence, like in terms of the pictures you had as an evidence for your work, what other strategies did you use to actually stay motivated and then make your applications and the rest of them?
Oh, I forgot to tell you that I had rejections. I had rejections. We started calling it love letter. I had a lot of them because I started applying from 2019 and I got it in 2022. So I had a lot of rejections. And one of the things that kept me motivated was the fact that I felt like I told myself that Grace, these people are going to spend money on you and you have to give them value for their money. Because sometimes we don't tell ourselves the truth. Imagine the whole of my scholarship was worth over £50,000. And these people are going to pay over £50,000 for you. So I tell myself that always that these people want to spend over £50,000 on you. You have to give them value for their money. So it was one of the things that I kept motivating myself. And I always say that I told myself that they will reject me tire because I would get it. But then the truth is I told myself the truth that this money is big. I have to actually give these people value for their money. So one of the things that keeps you motivated at some point is telling yourself the truth that you need to work. You need to do the work. Because sometimes you really want to say, oh, somebody is doing me, somebody is chasing me. You know how Nigerians we can say, oh, somebody. Sometimes if you tell yourself the truth that you need to put in the work first, it keeps you motivated because one of the beautiful part about life is self-awareness. When you are aware that I'm doing something wrong and find so me when I have rejections, I always like feedbacks. I like you to tell me what I did wrong so that I work on it. Because I don't want to say, oh, I did something good. No. Because when it comes to global application, nobody hates you. They don't even know you. So it's not like somebody is trying to do it because they don't like your face. They don't know you. That's the thing. Nobody knows you. They don't know your name. They don't know where you come from. So they are judging fairly to an extent. There's no man there. They are judging fairly. So what you want to do is get feedback so you can work on it, and that would help you to know that, oh, this is where I'm doing this one thing I'm doing wrong, and try to learn. When I started applying, to be fair, my essays in 2019 and 2022, they are not the same. The difference,
Okay.
my writing improved. So if I read my 2019 essay, I'm like, Grace, what were you writing? What is this now? So imagine that time I did not want to learn. I was not self-aware that these people are actually spending money on me, and I did not want to work on my feedback and improve myself. I will just be there and get tired. Sometimes I feel like for me, I'm a motivated person, but what keeps me there is my self-awareness. I want to know how to do it better because I like the global space because it's not if it is in Nigeria, I can doubt myself and say, okay, I can just tell myself that maybe they don't they put their brother. But when it comes to globally, like all these scholarship applications and all that, nobody knows you and nobody is doing it to because they hate you. So it's about if your work shows, they will give it to you. So what I do is I try to put in the work and I'm self-aware, and when they give you feedback, learn from it. Sometimes send an email to say, okay, I want to know what you think that. Sometimes they'll send feedback. If you watch, they'll send feedback link to say, oh, this is what you didn't do, this is what you didn't do well. Take it. It's hard, but take it and speak it. Me, I'm a lot of people know me. Like from my university days, I told them I was not going to school in Nigeria again. And everybody would they were calling me UK girl. And I remembered when I wrote that I'm traveling to the UK and put it on my box. My sister would look at it and laugh. Be
Right.
consistent. When you are working, be consistent. And even when I put that in on my box, I didn't get it that year. It was falling off my box. I still pasted it back on my box again. Damn, this box will take me to the UK. I remember I was working and my boss gave me one water bottle. I told my colleagues that I'll use this water bottle to study in the UK when I'm in the library. They were laughing. I kept that water bottle. I never used it. My mother begged me to give it to my younger sister. Yeah, it's just in my bag. I told her that is a prophecy for me. I'm not taking that water bottle out. I did not give it to my younger sister. And I took that water bottle to the UK. I took that same box. I threw it away when I got here. So it's about when you stay consistent with the things that you want, speak it out, believe in it, then work, do the work, take feedback, be self-aware, know when you need to correct yourself, especially in the global space. It can happen in Nigeria where people don't know you, where you need to know somebody. But when it comes to the global space, it is a space where you can thrive without knowing anybody. I can tell you from experience. You can thrive without knowing anybody, without anybody knowing your parents. So in that kind of space, be self-aware. Know when you have to work and put the work. Nobody hates you. Just do what you have to do, and it will work for you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I have a particular question to ask. In
Yeah.
the landscape of social impact, is it necessary to have a long-term goal ahead of time, or just to live in the moment of the joy and the fulfillment that working in the social impact scene gives you? Or is it necessary to have a long term goal, maybe somewhere that you've envisioned to be maybe in the next 5, 10 years, or just live in the moment? Because for some persons, you might ask them right now, what are your goals in 10 years? And they do not have anything to say. So, what do you think?
I think it's for a young person, it's necessary to have a long-term goal. My long-term goal is to work in the UN. And everybody that knows me, I have it on my watch. I don't know if it's still on. You can see it on my watch. So the UN flag is my screensaver. That's my long-term goal. That's where I want to work. And so everything I'm doing now is taking me there. So you have a long-term goal, but some people just do it because they like to do it, and that's the wrong part about it. You can't be putting your time to something that you don't want to take it to somewhere. Sometimes you might not be interested in impact space, but you're volunteering, and then sometimes these NGO owners, they have their business, and you have it like maybe you're a software developer, and you're volunteering in an organization where the person has like a hotel. You might not want to be in social media, social impact space, but then you could use the fact that you're a volunteer there to get to the person, because you volunteer for her organization and then she knows you to an extent. She can say, okay, can say, oh, I'm a software developer, and I feel like, oh, if you just in case you need, I'm good, this is my experience. And then that's where it links you to your own long term goal, because you want to be one very profound software developer. And imagine when you say, okay, maybe you're volunteering for Tony Elumenu's foundation, and then imagine if you're the chief software developer there. That's your own long term goal, because that's what you love. But for me, my long term goal is to work in the United Nations, and so everything I'm doing takes me there. And then it's on my watch every morning when I'm checking my time. I see it, and that's where I'm going to. So there's always a long term goal for anything. You can't be doing anything that you don't know do where it's taking you to. I don't think it's okay to do whatever you are doing. It has look at it to align you some. Even if you're a tailor and you are volunteering, people are making clothes there. You can have they can be doing, or let me say you're a printer, and then the NGO can be doing new shirts. You can start printing for them. From there, you print for them one time. Somebody might see it. One of the big people in the NGOs, the board of trustees, they might see it and say, "Oh, this printer, oh, come and print to my organization." And before you know, you are known. So it has a way you can always link it to your long term goal. It's just you being intentional about it. There's always something for you, whatever you are doing. There's always something that takes you to where you are going to. It's a road. There's no way to not take you. It does not take you to where you're going to. So you always have. It's important to have a long term goal when you're doing something.